right, it's been a minute since I've done a video like this. Kit walkthrough, I think the last time I had the TD25 module set up. So yeah, it's been a long time. And if you guys have been subscribed and watching since then, I really appreciate it, guys. That's really awesome. And everybody that watches my videos, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. So first thing before I get started, I want to give a big shout out to Carrie Morse. She's a graphic designer and a really good friend of mine. She actually helped me redesign my logo quite a while back now, I think. It was earlier in the year. But yeah, I thought she did great work. I wanted her to keep my initial idea and just kind of revamp it, you know, make it look more like a logo. And I was really happy with the results. So if you guys are interested in any graphic design or logo work, of course, definitely check out her website in the description below. All right, so on to the drums. The first thing I think anybody notices when they look at this kit is it is an acoustic conversion. I think that is the coolest thing that you can do for an E-kit. I mean, probably if you're not moving it around, then maybe not so cool. Anyway, this is a Pearl export kit for the most part. One of the floor toms is a Pearl Roadshow, and the snare is actually the Alesis Strike snare still, which I just love that snare, guys. It's the only snare that has the trigger in the center, but no hotspot. And if you get the Gen 2 one, the quality is, you know, they fixed everything as far as quality concerns with that snare, and it is just the best pad. The Alesis Strike pads overall, I love the feel of them, and this snare is just, I can't let it go. I mean, acoustic conversion, whatever, this snare is staying. While I'm on the snare, actually, I want to give another big shout out to strikekits.com. Check out the finish that I have on the snare, guys. This is from these guys at strikekits.com. They have other finishes that look equally as good and very easy to apply, high quality. They also do like some downloadable kits. Like if you guys have the Strike, you know, you can download kits, but they do custom sizes for these wraps as well. Anything Strike related or E-drum related, check out that website, guys, and they have good prices too. So moving on, the triggers that I'm using in the toms are all Hellenson ITM2 dual zone triggers. So these just mount into the lugs of the drums, so you can use the same screws. You don't have to actually drill any holes if you don't want to, and then you just run the cable from underneath the drum and plug them right in. I'm so happy with these triggers, guys, and anything that I mentioned in this video, if I can find it, the links will be in the description. So the trigger in the bass drum is a UFO Drums. I think it's just called bar trigger, and it comes with the pillow on it, so you can kind of adjust that for the pressure against the head, and it feels really good. The mesh heads that I'm using are Roland PowerPly. They're a 2-ply mesh head, and the model number is MH2. In my opinion, these are the very best mesh heads that you can buy, but it does come at a price. The head on the kick is still that Remo Silent Stroke single ply, but you know, I've been happy with it. I'll probably upgrade it at some point, but it's still great, so that's what's on. The rubber rim that I have around the acoustic drums is UFO Rim by the Foot, I think it's called. It's a rubber rim by the Foot. If you go on their website, you'll find it. And I really like this rim because it's a little bit thinner than the regular Roland rim, which means it doesn't stick up as much, so the playing experience is more closer to like a regular metal rim on a drum, and they don't stick down as much, so you can see more of the actual chrome on the rim, which in my opinion just makes the drum set look that much better. Moving on to the cymbals, my hi-hat is a Roland CY14C 14-inch dual-zone cymbal on top of a VH10 controller. And if you have any of these VH10, VH11, or Go E-Drum controller, you can use any cymbal of your choice. On top of that, I would just, you know, make sure that you have either the clutch or something that can keep the cymbal from spinning. My left crash is a Pintec PC 18-inch dual-zone with choke. I love the feel of these cymbals, and the choke is really responsive. I don't know why some people really down on Pintec cymbals, but I'm really happy with the feel of these. They actually feel like real cymbals because they're thin, you know, and they bend a little bit when you hit them, just like real cymbals. So my 3 little splashes are all 10-inch Pintec TC single-zone cymbals, along with the crash on my right is a TC single-zone Pintec as well, 18-inch also. Real sizes, guys, real sizes. The ride cymbal I use is an ATV 18-inch triple zone ride, and in my opinion, this is the very best ride on the market. I think it's going to be a while until anybody makes something that feels, responds, looks, anything like, that's going to top this cymbal. This cymbal's freaking fantastic. The one down here to my right is an Alesis DM 14-inch dual zone cymbal. I like the feel of that cymbal too. It's pretty cost effective and triggers really well actually. Last but not least, the farthest cymbal to my right is the 17-inch ATV China cymbal. I forget the model number. It's like AD7. I forgot it, but this cymbal is freaking awesome, and obviously it looks great too, right? I'm sure it's no surprise the modules that I use are the Alesis Strike module and the 2-box Drum It 3. I pretty much have the 2-box running both of my crashes and my splash cymbals, just because the cymbals in that module are just really nice, and the drum sounds are good too. I just like to run it this way because I like the editability of the Alesis Strike. Like, you can add compression and do a little bit more deeper editing, more so for recording than live, but I use it for both. The pedals that I use are Pearl Demonator pedals. They're actually pretty affordable longboard pedal, under $200, and they feel quality, man. I'm really happy with them. The hi-hat stand is also kind of like a Demonator style. It's a more affordable stand, but I'm happy with it. It feels good. Coming back around to the front of the kit, I want to cover what I did with this rack. So it's kind of custom, but it's obviously not as cool as like a Gibraltar custom rack. But basically, when you get the Alesis Strike Pro kit, you get like a separate expansion box that comes with the larger rack. But in the main box for the base kit comes the standard rack. So you have pretty much 2 whole racks and some extra pipes that you can work with. And eventually, after I completed the conversion, I was looking at it and I'm like, I want to see my drums. I got acoustic drums now. I want that middle pipe to go, but then the rack would fall, right? So I'm like, well, I have all these extra pipes. I have a saw, and all I had to do was, do some measuring for how long I wanted the legs and get all my pipes together. I actually chose to shorten the posts because when you're adding the legs on the bottom, it raised the posts up, the vertical ones, even higher. So it was a big project for me because I literally took my whole entire kit apart to get everything off of the rack. But yeah, once you measure it up and you get to the saw, you just kind of go through everything, you get in the zone, and it was pretty easy to put back together. And what's really cool is the Gibraltar hardware for the rack and stuff fits the Alesis Strike rack. So all I did at the end, I had all the parts. I just needed to buy some feet, which are like $10 or less for a set of 4 Gibraltar rubber feet. So I just needed to get 2 packs of that, and that was my rack, right? So kind of custom, but the goal was to show off the drums, and I definitely like the 2 rack on the side thing. You really see the drums really nicely. The other DIY I did was pretty small, but it's with the Pintech cymbals. I do like those cymbals themselves, but what I don't like is they don't really incorporate a cymbal stopper like a real one. They give you this cymbal spring, which is supposed to make it, move back and forth more like a real cymbal. But, acoustic cymbals don't just bounce back and forth like a freaking bobblehead. Boing, I'm not trying to have no bobblehead cymbals here. So I looked at the Alesis cymbal stoppers. They have a tab on them, and then the bottom of the Alesis cymbal has grooves that stop it from turning from side to side. So, pretty simple concept, and really all I needed to add was something to go on either side of that tab. And hello, screws. I went to Ace Hardware, 2-inch screws with some bolts, 50 cents, So now I get to tighten and loosen the felts to get the action that I personally prefer. And I think it's probably as good as it gets for these cymbals that have like the trigger on one end and aren't evenly weighted all the way around. So, other cymbal manufacturers, if you guys are watching this, probably not, but if you are, ditch that cymbal spring. It's not an adequate replacement for an actual cymbal stopper. And, something like what I did here is so cost effective and frankly easy. And in my opinion, it would really improve the product because, man, the action of that spring, if you guys haven't tried it, it's pretty whack. I'm just saying. Anyway, I think the only other thing that I forgot to cover was the wrap that I used to recover this drum set. If you search online for red metal flake vinyl wrap, it's really cheap. I think I found it on eBay or Amazon. But yeah, that's really easy to apply. And you don't even have to strip down the drums or anything. You just got to take the hardware off. The other thing is this custom kind of logo thing, vintage logo that I put on the front of my bass drum. I just searched on eBay again for vintage bass drum decal, I think. Something like that, and the link will be in the description if I can find it, but just search that and you'll find something similar where you can kind of pick the font and the style of the shield type thing. And last but not least, the headphones that I prefer are the Firth SIH2. I think that's right. It's SIH or SHI, but they're great sound isolating headphones that, you know, block out everything from the outside. And I know a lot of people recommend, you know, studio reference headphones because they sound good, Audio-Technica or Sennheiser, whatever it is. That's great that they sound good, but in this particular scenario, in my opinion, the highest priority is eliminating the sound of sticks hitting rubber pads. And to me, nothing takes you out of the zone of playing drums more than the sound of rubber. I only want to hear what's coming out of the module, and these headphones do that job to a T. So I highly recommend them. And with that, I think I've covered just about everything I can about my kit. Let me know if I missed anything. And once more, if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe, please share, do all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks.